What's up, everybody? It's Brandon from Box Office Banner and Cult Flick Symposium. I'm here to talk to you about a new movie, a little under the radar, I feel like, but I really, like at least one person a lot in this movie, and I love it when they're in horror movies. That guy is Justin Long, and this movie is called It's a Wonderful Knife. Yeah, you got that right. A play on It's a Wonderful Life. And who doesn't like Christmas horror? And again, who doesn't like Justin Long in horror movies? The dude usually plays a pretentious douchebag, but he just wins you over. And even when he doesn't, like Derry and Jeepers Creepers, dude's a ton of fucking fun. I did not even watch a trailer for this movie, but I was in just on the sentiment that Justin Long was in a Christmas horror movie, and it was a slasher film. And limited release, but there was some showings at my theater. Count me in. I have AMC A-list. 3 free movies a week. Why wouldn't I see this? I was hoping for what would be a pleasant surprise here. And I did not get that at all. This movie started off okay, but fell off the rails pretty quickly. And the biggest reason I can say it did was every single thing in this movie felt forced. Down to the comedy, down to the choreography and how they set up kills, down to the storyline, down to the little creative choices to seemingly make everybody gay in the movie. Yeah, I've talked about this on my channel. There's a lot of movies where I think people overdo it with just like, this shit's too woke. This would fall under the category of, I call it that Hollywood checklist, where it's just like, okay, bro, everyone's gay? Like everyone? It's just nothing wrong with being gay. I'm not that guy that's like, don't put that shit in my movies. That ain't me. But when I feel like there's a Hollywood checklist, there's a guy like, did you get this gay couple? Did you get this gay couple? Did you get this interracial couple? Starts digging into the movie for me. That happened a lot here. Let's talk about that comedy. None of it worked. Justin Long, I will, however, say, was good in this movie, but he couldn't save it. And, he was really good. Don't get me wrong, but he wasn't, great Justin Long like we've seen in his other horror movies. But he was a fun enough character. The kills, how were the kills? Not that good. There was moments where it's like that would be a cool kill, but the build up to the kill, where it felt like they were trying to push some type of intensity, it just didn't work because of the editing and how choppy it was. It's like you were trying to it was like, like when you're watching a good fight scene and it's ruined, like Jason Bourne style with the shaky cam and it's cut real quick. It's like, you're like, clip, 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 clip. You're like, okay, what happened exactly? It insinuated that he hit him with an axe, so I guess he hit him with an axe. It just wasn't edited together well. And then we talk about that forcedness. I don't think revealing who's gay in movies is necessarily a spoiler. So if this spoils something for you, like, oh my God, I would have never seen that coming, then I guess don't tune in for this. But let me just say this. We have the dad, played by, what's his name? Joe McHale. Is that his name? He's decent in the movie. He's always a decent little actor. I had no problems or qualms with him in the movie. And, his wife. And they have a son who you end up finding out's gay. And their daughter ends up being gay. Not really a huge spoiler, people. It's a slasher movie. She ends up being gay. So both kids are gay. And their aunt that's over, who's also with them, is gay. It's just like, everybody feels gay. There's another gay friend in the movie. It's okay, bro. Gay people exist. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with them being in horror movies. But again, when it's just like overload, this movie made it feel like overload. And it took me out of the movie. It was just like, man, is everyone gay? That's kind of how it felt. And when I get that feeling, rather than just like it's a slasher movie and the gay people just blend into the background, how it should be, it does take me out of the movie, people. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be a bigot. I'm not trying to be that guy. It is what it is. That's how I felt about the movie. The blood and gore, not really. And when you did get the blood and gore, it was like the cartoony blood and gore. Like it was very CGI-S type blood. And it really did feel like they were going for the tension and scares. It felt like they were trying, but it never quite worked. None of the people in this movie were good either. I just could not get behind anybody. Even Justin Long, he's a main character in the movie, but he's not like in the mix of like, that group of friends that's being stalked in the movie. So you're not really like following him along as much, even though he is a big presence in the movie. So a lot of times he feels like background noise, so it's hard for him to save it. But other than Justin Long, I didn't care about anybody. Okay, I lied. There's one other person. But the reveals in the movie too, bad. Bad. I mean, it's a cool premise. I think that's what's most frustrating about it. And I got to say also the look of the killer. Initially, when I was looking at the killer, I was like, that's kind of cool, a little different looking. I think it's kind of creepy. But the more I looked at it, the more I was like, this motherfucker looks like Moon Knight, bro, from the fucking MCU, the show that just came out. Like, I didn't even think about that till just now. I just had an epiphany, but like my brain kind of went to, he kind of looked more like a supervillain in a superhero movie compared to what, a slasher villain would look like. Like, it's a costume and he's covered up, so you could easily be like, but you would never mistake Ghostface or Michael Myers for something like that. There was something about him that just reeked of like supervillain, which also, as the movie wore on, was just like, I feel like that's like what a supervillain would wear, not a slasher killer. So that started to also wane on me as well. The character of Bernie, very redeeming qualities, who's another lesbian in the movie, but all that aside, obviously, don't give a fuck. Lesbian it up, bro. Just don't make it feel forced. She was an awesome character in the movie. She was like that, person on the outskirts, the outsider. I really enjoyed what they did with her character. And once they finally did kind of bring her to the light and made her important and integral, like I've never really been, it's hard for me to comment on this type of thing because as much as like I'm a movie nerd and shit, I've kind of always I don't want to say like I'm the popular kid, but like I've never not been popular either. You know what I mean? I'm somewhere in between. So I can't really relate to somebody that gets bullied on. I don't want to, act like something I'm not because that's just not what I'm going to do. Like, like I feel like a lot of people are like, I can relate to you. I got bullied on a lot. It's not me, bro. Not who I am. But there is some relatability in that character because at the same time, I am human. Everybody's felt vulnerable. Everybody's felt like an outcast, I think, at some point of their life. Even the people that are doing the bullying. A lot of the reasons they do that is because there's an empty void in them. And watching her character go from just like, completely depressed, completely down and out, completely on the outskirts, even though there was times where her character even was just like, okay, cliche moments and didn't like it. There was a humanity to that character that bled through in a few scenes enough to where I'm like, yeah, there were scenes where I was like, okay, Bernie's a little much. But there was a lot of scenes where Bernie really won me over, where I was just like, man, I love this character. So she ended up being a very solid character. But the lead actress, everybody else, Justin Long in spots, not enough to save the movie. Joel McHale was fine. It's just the collective vibe and feel of the whole cast was just like, shoot me now. Did not get into it at all. This movie, in general, was a complete misfire. At the same time, it's hard to say that those I didn't necessarily expect much from it. It wasn't like something that was on my radar like crazy, like Thanksgiving, which I still have not fucking seen, people. I was supposed to see it today. I was also supposed to see it last Friday. Wish I would have seen that instead of this slasher. I've only heard great things. But I am disappointed from the standpoint of I really thought this had a chance. Christmas horror, I eat that shit up. Slasher movie, Justin Long. Oh my God, like let's go. That's usually about all I need. You can't fuck this up. And they just tried too hard across the board. They tried to add in too much shit that felt forced across the board, and it just didn't work overall. It felt like they were trying to have fun, but yet the result was just not, fun. It's a Wonderful Knife. Hurts me to say it. Just could not get into it for the life of me. It's just each moment, it was kind of sucking me out of it. Then the middle kind of lifted me up again. And then the decisions they made with the fucking ending and the route they went. And then like the finale, it was like, really, that's it. And then the very end of it also didn't really make sense to me. And in the end, I was left with just one big missed opportunity. At least for me. I thought it could have been great. Yeah, I got to give this movie a 4 out of 10. And yeah, it's on the bad side. Don't really give out a lot of bad ratings, It's kind of tough for me to do. I usually find enough in movies to at least be like, that was okay. I'm not mad I watched it. This one I might throw on again just because it's Christmas horror and, There's only so many of those that are good to begin with. Sometimes you throw on a bad one every once in a while. You're like, let's revisit it. Just, tis the season type shit. So I might get another chance when I do that. But first time viewing, if I ever even watch it again, this was a letdown. It's a wonderful knife. Check it out for yourself. But this is my review, honest review. Woke people do not come from me. I have defended many a woke movie this year. I'm telling you. Love them when they're done right. But when they're done like this, makes me not care as much, bro. Don't do this. Don't do this. It's not authentic. It's not authentic. Love you guys. Peace.